Today I wanted to answer a very, very frequently asked question that I get a minimum of 10 times a week, which is, will I film the class? Will I make it available online to people who are willing to pay for it, whether on a piece-by-piece basis, I pay to see the entire class basis, or I just pay a subscription fee every time you release a new one, or something like that. I've had so many different offers for this, and the answer to every single one of these has always been no. So I want to explain why that is. I want to explain the mission and purpose between the content I put up for free and the content that I'm offering in the class, and I want to give you a better understanding of why it is that, and the answer to that is always no. And I also kind of want, honestly, I kind of want to understand what it is you're even looking to get out of a paid. Why is my roof in the place that I pay $4,000 a month for leaking on me? Oh, it's raining and it's New York and the landlords don't give a fuck. That's why. Yeah, like, so I had an issue with the ceiling leaking in the back room, my office. The landlord comes in and he fixes it. I swear to God that he put white duct tape up there probably and covered it with paint or something, because this is horse shit. It was actually leaking right on where I had a surge protector on my desk over there, so I added a surge protector to plug 1 or 2 chargers in, and it was leaking water directly onto it while I was on. So, like, you know, by the way, for all you people who kind of wonder with that building that blew up on 7th Street and 2nd Avenue in New York, like, how do buildings just blow up spontaneously in New York? Or how does this happen? It happens because of just landlords that don't give a flying shit or a fuck, and that are just collecting ridiculous, asinine, stupid amounts of money from their tenants, and then like gluing everything back together because they just want to make as much money as possible. Again, who gives a fuck if you go on fire when I have money in my pocket? But anyway, back to the point of the video. Hopefully, I don't get dripped on again. But one of the mission and purpose of my content online is to inform you. So I believe in some way, shape, or form that information is free. Most of the information that you need to learn how something works is out there already, and it's free. You can find it. We live in 2015. And this is I learned a lot of this from being a kid and pirating music and movies and all television and all that stuff. Now that we can duplicate information, we can duplicate video and audio content for absolutely no money, that it's really, really difficult to actually get people to pay for that type of content. So what I've done here with this business model, I'm not basing my class or my business model on only giving you information if you pay for it. It's rather the exact opposite. If you go over to my YouTube channel and you go over the Guide to Basic Electronics video and also the MacBook board repair section, that playlist, you're going to find every single piece of information that you need to solve 99.9999% of the problems that you will ever encounter working on a laptop motherboard. I'm serious. If you go through that section, you're going to find every single piece of information that you need. Even if you're getting 2 or 3 machines a month, even if that's the only volume that you have, I'm telling you, you will find a way to make an extra $5,000 to $6,000 a year. Even if you absorb 10% of what I'm telling you, if you watch my YouTube channel, I can guarantee you that if you have a working brain in your head, that you're putting minimal effort in, that you'll be able to make yourself an extra $5,000 to $6,000 a year, just on money that you're throwing away because you just don't offer it, or you don't know what to do with it, or you outsource it, whatever it is. You watch that content, you'll make a lot of extra money. Now, what I'm doing with the course, I'm not simply just giving away that same information. I am explaining a lot of it to you, but what I'm selling with the course is interaction. What I'm selling is, okay, I've explained this concept, but you kind of look like googly-eyed, like I don't really know what you're talking about. I can ask a follow-up question to figure out what it is you understand and what it is you don't understand, and ensure that before I move on to the next topic, that I've cemented that understanding in your head of the thing that I was just talking about. I'm also selling the interactive experience of actually working on something. So I'll give you something and go, what do you think is wrong with this? Let's go through the steps. And if you're thinking and you think in the right direction, I'll go, okay, let's continue. If you're thinking in the wrong direction, I'll try to figure out what it is that caused you to think that so that you won't make that mistake in the real world. We'll also go over soldering, which obviously, if I am going to coach you on soldering a small BGA chip, I'm going to coach you on soldering a small resistor that you don't know how to solder without it flicking off the board. If I'm going to coach you on how to not short balls under a chip while you're soldering it, I need to actually see what you're doing. I need to see what you're doing. I need to be able to show you in person the difference between what I'm doing and what you're doing. And that's all an interactive process. That's all an interactive thing. I need to actually have you in the room sitting there in order to do this. And before you ask, I'm not shipping you a camera and a microscope camera for $1,000 or $2,000 so that I can try to interact with you over a hotel Wi-Fi connection. No, that's not happening. But This is all an interactive experience. You need to be there to get that out of the course. When you take the course and you subtract the interactive experience, what you have, in essence, is my YouTube content, and my YouTube content is already free. So why is it that you're looking to pay money for content that is already free? When you're paying for, you're not paying to learn what the one-wire circuit is. You're not paying to learn what a resistor is. You're not paying to learn what a buck converter is. You're paying for me to go over all of this, then go over it with you to make sure you understand the content as I've explained it to you, then go over actually practically troubleshooting this in real-world circuits, then go over actually soldering to fix these problems, watching you solder, figuring out how you're fucking up while you're soldering, figuring out how you're fucking up when you're troubleshooting, and that is really, again, that's an interactive experience. So the course is not selling information, because again, I believe for the most part that information is free, and that any attempt that I make to hide information in order to sell that information is going to end in failure, or it's going to end in piracy, or it's going to end in people simply not caring about that because they're going to find the information elsewhere. So to make my course sustainable, to make this a business model that makes sense, I have not based my course on selling information. What I'm selling is a greater level of understanding of the information that I've made available for free already. What I'm selling is interacting with you to figure out what it is you don't understand, and also interacting with you to figure out what you're fucking up when you're soldering. Because again, a lot of this business is not just about following instructions, it's about not fucking up. And putting up the instructions is easy, but stopping you from fucking up, again, that is hard. I can put up instructions online on how to do something very easily, and that's free. But then having you not fuck up, that really requires that I see what it is you're fucking up in person, so that I can stop you at that moment when you're about to do something silly and asinine and dumb and say, don't do that. Here's what you're doing. Here's why that's bad. Here's why we don't do that. Here's what you should be doing instead. And when you go, huh? I go, okay, see this? This is what I'm doing. Now see that, which is what you're doing. Oh, that aha moment that's going to come about, that is what you are paying for. You are not paying for information. So when you say that you want to pay to watch my course, I become really dumbfounded, because what the only thing that I'm offering in the course that is not available for free already is simply interaction. And when you are watching that course as an MKV file that I have sent to you on a DVD-R, what's happening there is you don't get any of the interaction, but you paid for it. And that just has me scratching my head. I really don't get it. The other reason I'm not selling it is also having to deal with devaluing the actual course. So if I sell the course, if I sell the entire thing, what that says is, hey, I know you couldn't make it to the course, but if you couldn't make it, you can kind of get the same thing by just watching it on DVD. And what that does is it devalues the interaction aspect of it. Because then if you see that, what you may think to yourself, if you see that I'm selling a DVD of the course or a Blu-ray disc of the course, what that does is it kind of says, you know what? This course is really about just watching the content. It's not about the interaction. It sends that message that this is not a hands-on practical course, that this is really something that I can get just by watching a DVD. And that's not what it is at all. It's in fact just the exact opposite. I am taking all that information, but now what I'm doing, what I'm selling, is me getting that information, me ingraining that information in your head, me removing the incorrect information from your head, and me watching you actually implement the solutions in real time, me watching you troubleshoot in real time to figure out what it is you're doing wrong. And I can't do that on a DVD. But if I put this course on DVD, now it kind of sends the message that it's not the interaction that you're buying. And the problem here is that a lot of people are going to buy the course without actually coming to it, and they're not going to get that interaction. And that's not something I'm looking to do. I don't want to send the message that, okay, you can't make it to the course, that you can get the same thing on DVD. You can get that information just fine, but that is a separate product. That's not the same product as the class. You watching me talk to you, you watching something that cannot interact with you, that's what I'm offering on YouTube. That is a non-interactive product. What I'm selling with the course, I'm selling an interactive product. I'm selling, you're not talking, you're not listening to a FLAC file on YouTube. You are listening to a real person who you can then ask questions to, who can then respond to those questions, who is going to quiz you, who is going to try to figure out if you're actually retaining the information that I'm giving you, who's actually going to put boards in front of you and say, here, fix this shit. That is what I'm offering with the course. That is an interactive product. So I'm not going to sell a non-interactive version of an interactive product when a non-interactive version of that product is already out there for free and already being differentiated from. And then there's the whole thing with piracy, which, again, so people are going to get the idea that the interactive product is the same as the non-interactive product. That's what's going to happen when I put out the DVD. People are going to go, there's no difference between the class and the DVD. I can just watch the class and get the whole idea. Then when it winds up on those same FTP servers that all the schematics and board views are on, because like, let's face it here, there is a piracy element to our business because we cannot get schematics anywhere. Then when that happens, then people are going to grab it for free, and then we're not going to sell seats in the course, and we're not going to sell DVDs. So if I start offering that, not only am I going to be giving away a crappier version of the free information that's already there, because while I'm doing a class, I'm not necessarily going to be as interested in open broadcast, or I'm not exactly going to be as interested in sticking to a script. So not only are you not going to get what you get out of the videos, but you're also not going to get what you would get out of the class. And I'm not going to get money out of the class. You're not going to get the information that you need. And like I don't see where this is at all a win. So what I'm telling you is that if you cannot afford to come here for the interactive experience, stop offering me money for a recorded version of the interactive experience, because you're not going to get that interactive experience from a recording. What I would suggest you do is I would suggest that you, when you have a couple of days off work or when there's a holiday, you go over the 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 hours of video content I have on this channel that is completely free related to basic electronics and laptop motherboard repair. Because again, I have gone over how almost every single circuit works. I mean, I'm sure that I'm missing one or two just by accident because I have not filmed them or just because they never break, but I really feel like I have gone over every single little thing that there is to go over in terms of laptop board repair. I've gone over almost every single basic motherfuck. I hate New York sometimes, man. I can't stand it. But the point is, I've gone over almost every single concept. So, really, just watch that. Again, if you cannot make it to the course, I'm not saying that you're going to get the same experience from watching my content online. But what I am going to say is that you're going to get a better experience out of watching that content online for free than you're actually going to get if you watch a recording of me interacting with others. Watching me move somebody's elbow in a place so that they solder like this instead of like this. Watching me tell somebody, oh, you shorted those two balls together. That's not going to help you, because that's not the fuck up you're going to make. Watching somebody else troubleshoot a board and screw up or get stuck in one section, that's not going to help you, because you have a different brain than that person, because you're going to screw up at a different point than that person. There's no point to watching me interact with somebody else, because you are the student. You are the person paying for that content. You are the person who needs to benefit, not the person that is in the actual video. If you can't make it to the course, just watch my free content online and benefit from that. If you can make it to the course, again, what you're paying for, you're not paying for information. I am going to be going over all this information because a lot of people coming here don't understand all of it, but what you're paying for is the interactive experience of troubleshooting, the interactive experience of, I don't get this, let me raise my hand and ask a question here and have him answer it. You can't raise your hand on YouTube. I am a static MKV file when I get uploaded to YouTube. You can be screaming right now and throwing stuff at your computer, and I'm still going to be sitting here just saying the exact same thing. You could be slamming your laptop closed and opening it, and in rehearsing, if you slam my head on the table, I may tell you to go fuck yourself and smack you in the face. But on here, I'm not going to stop what I'm doing, because I didn't even know that you just slammed my face against the table, because I'm just an MKV file. I don't know any better. I'm not interactive content. Again, and if you want some of that interactive content and you can't make it here, what I would say is, again, go post on Advanced Reworks. You're not going to get an instant answer the same way you would if I was standing in front of you while you're troubleshooting something. But again, that forum was created, again, as another free platform for people to get advice. When I started using that forum, it had 3 or 4 users and a post every couple of days. Now the thing has dozens of posts every day from people across the world who are everywhere from totally new to motherboard repair to people who know more about it than I do. And they're all going to be answering your questions. They're all going to be referring to the same content base that I put up there, and they're all going to be answering your questions based on the same mindset. Some people are going to be answering it from an even better mindset. So if you want that troubleshooting, if you want that type of interactive troubleshooting, but you can't make it to the course, don't offer me money for content that is not going to give you that interaction. Go online to that free forum, register on that free forum, ask questions on that free forum, and use that as a resource, because it is available and it is out there, and there's a reason that I put all this content out there. I wanted, for the work that I'm doing, to give, whether you have no money to spend on content and no money and no time to come out and visit an interactive course, or if you have the money to come out and visit and spend on an interactive course, wherever you are, I wanted there to be a solution for you. I wanted there to be a place where you can ask questions. I wanted there to be a place where you could learn whether or not you actually have the money to come here. So again, if you don't have the money to come here, if you can't come here, if you live in another country, if you are unable to leave for any reason, just watch the content that's online and just post on the forum. But if you can make it here, what I'm going to be offering you is a greater level of understanding of the content that I've posted based on figuring out what you are not understanding and then answering those questions accordingly and then showing you examples as I answer those questions. That's going to be what you're paying for. It's not like I'm giving you the secrets, because again, a lot of people, I really think they have this idea that at the course, I have 70 hours of content on YouTube, but during the course, I'm going to show you that one secret that's going to make all of this so much easier. There is no secret. I am not showing anybody a secret. I'm not giving out a magic handbook that answers how to fix every single problem on every single board without using your brain. All I'm offering is interactive content. And if you cannot make it to the course, you will not be getting that interactive content. I cannot record interactive content. Until they create artificial intelligence that I could simply send to you on a flash drive, you're not going to be able to ask me questions. You're not going to be able to interact with that video just because I send it to you. And again, I really would be taking your money under false pretenses to be offering what I'm already offering for free in the form of a recording. And again, it just doesn't make sense. Why did I put up all this content for free when you're not watching it because you want a film of the class? I don't want to mud the waters between these two product lines. The YouTube content is free and it is non-interactive. The class costs money, but it is interactive. You're going to be sitting in front of a real microscope and a real soldering iron, and you're going to be doing real jobs that we give you. That is interactive content. You're going to fuck those jobs up. We're going to show you what you did wrong. We're going to sit with you, and Jessa will kindly explain what you're doing wrong. I'll most likely humorously berate you and try to get you to laugh and get a kick out of what you're doing wrong. And I'm going to ensure that you leave there knowing how to do some of these basic things. That's what you're paying for. It's not just information. It's not just sitting in front of me lecturing. It's an interactive element. And if you don't have that interactive element, there's no point in paying money, is just my personal opinion.